One, two, one, two, one, two. Here we go. Welcome to the Catalyst Podcast, raw, real, and unedited. My name is Jason, and you can find Catalyst at Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. You can hear this podcast created through Spreaker on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, iHeart, and Amazon. A catalyst has the power to create change. We hope that's what this podcast will do. If you'd like to be a part of this podcast as a guest or a contributor, you can email us at catalystmotivation561@gmail.com. That's catalystmotivation561@gmail.com. Welcome to episode 56 of the Catalyst Podcast. Boy, I hope you're having a great day today. I hope you had a great week, great weekend. Today, in this stream of consciousness, in this unedited farts and all, no bedliners, no anything like that, we're going to talk about the ministry of thought. The ministry of thought. Take a deep breath, maybe stretch. You don't want to pull a muscle during this thing. Grab your favorite beverage and let's get to it, because we're going to talk about something that's often overlooked, but it's actually probably one of the most powerful tools we possess, our minds. So the focus is the ministry of thought. Now, before you start picturing some government agency, I know we're in these crazy times where nothing makes sense anymore. Let me break it down. Okay? Your mind's your own personal ministry. It's a place where ideas are born, dreams are crafted, and realities are shaped. It controls the center of your entire existence. So, the question is, are you the prime minister of your mind, or are you just a passive bystander? All right? Now, we've been given this incredible ability to think, to reason, and to imagine. It's like having a supercomputer between our ears. But as crazy as it sounds, most of us don't even realize the full potential of its power. We let our thoughts run our wild, uncontrolled, feral, like a runaway train, right? We let other people's opinions dictate our reality. We allow fear, doubt, and negativity to be the ministers of our mind. Well, today is the day that we reclaim our power. It's time to take charge of our internal world. All right? So think about it this way. Your mind is the architect of your life. Every building, every room, every detail of your reality is designed by your thoughts that you're entertaining. All right? The thoughts you entertain. If you're consistently thinking of negative thoughts, then you're building a life filled with challenges and obstacles. On the other hand, if you focus on the positive, empowering thoughts, you're creating a foundation for success and happiness. It's like the old saying, watch your thoughts, for they become your world. Watch your words, for they become your actions. Watch your actions, for they become your habits. Watch your habits, for they become your character. Watch your character, because it becomes your destiny. It's a great one. Let me repeat that for those of you who might have been doing something other than paying attention. Listen, I get sidetracked every now and again myself too. So here's the saying. Watch your thoughts, for they become your words. Watch your words, because they become your actions. Watch your actions, because they become your habits. Watch your habits, for they become your character. Watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. All right? Now, let's talk about the ministry of doubt. I think we all subscribe to the ministry of doubt in our lives. One of the biggest enemies of our ministry of thought is doubt. It's that pesky little voice that whispers, you can't do it. Or, what if you fail? Doubt's like a security guard who's been bribed to let all the negative visitors in. Right? I remember a time when doubt almost derailed my entire life. I had this dream to start my own business, but the fear of failure held me back. I let doubt be my prime minister of my mind for far too long. And it wasn't until I decided to take a leap of faith and ignore that nagging voice that things really started to change. I started to cultivate a positive mindset. So, so how do we create this ministry of thought that's filled with positivity, creativity, and empowerment? Well, we can start off by being more mindful. This is about being present in the moment. It's about noticing your thoughts without judgment. When you become aware of your thoughts, you have the power to choose which ones you keep and which ones you'll let go. Being grateful. Focusing on what you're grateful for shifts your perspective. It's like putting on a pair of rose-colored glasses for your mind, right? Affirmations. Positive statements can reprogram your subconscious mind. Repeat affirmations daily to build self-belief. Visualization. Imagine your goals and dreams as if they've already happened. This helps your mind create a roadmap for success. Surround yourself with positivity. The people you spend time with influence your thoughts. Surround yourself with uplifting, supportive individuals. If you're paying attention, you probably hear gratitude, affirmation, visualization, and then sometimes surrounding yourselves with positive people a lot. Because when we think about it and we look at it, those are the core foundations of changing our world around. I mean, we can reword them, call them sexy names, but the bottom line, these are your core four. If you show gratitude, if you use affirmations in a positive way and visualize in a positive way and surround yourself with positive people, the tide will turn and the scales will tip. But the key to it all is belief. Belief is the cornerstone of the ministry of thought. What you believe about yourself becomes your reality. What you believe about yourself becomes your reality. If you believe you're capable, you'll find ways to make it happen. If you think you're limited, you'll create limitations. Remember, your mind is a powerful tool. Use it wisely. Choose your thoughts carefully. And most importantly, believe in yourself. I can, I will, I must. I can, I will, I must. Eric Thomas in my head almost every morning. I can, I will, I must. I can overcome. I will overcome. I must overcome. Speaking positivity and speaking truth into yourself and believing it. You can say the words, but without any belief, all of those actions mean nothing. You need to believe. So, your assignment. Let's put our newfound knowledge into action. All right. For the next week, I want you to become the prime minister of your own mind. Start a thought journal. Stuff down, folks. I am so against, with every grain of my person, against doing this journaling stuff. All right. I am. It's for me, this is one of the things that I need to become the minister of thought in. Is changing my perspective on journaling. Because time and time again, we hear about journaling and we see it as an effective tool. And yet some of us, still try to avoid it. So I'm going to actually put this into play and I'm going to start writing this journal. You want to join me on this trek and this journey? Why don't you do the same? Why don't you send me something in the comments saying hashtag I'm with Jay. Hashtag I'm with Jay. All right. And let's write down our thoughts, both positive and negative. Okay. Identify the thoughts that are holding you back and replace them with empowering ones. All right. Also, I want you to practice mindfulness for at least 5 minutes a day. All right. Practice mindfulness in at least 5 minutes a day. Focus on your breath, focus on your body and the present moment. Okay. Remember, change takes time. Be patient with yourself. Okay. Celebrate the small victories. And most importantly, have fun. All right? Don't beat yourself up. Take your time with it, but have fun. Enjoy it. Embrace it. Your ministry of thought is waiting. It takes time to change. So go be great. And with that being said, thank you so much for listening. I'm really going to take this on because one of my biggest things is just writing things down. I think the act of writing helps with things sticking in your mind. So, like I said, I'm gonna do this when we're done with the podcast. I'm gonna take a few minutes, sit quietly, and start putting things down. I mentally do it. I don't physically do it. I think the physical act of writing is a powerful tool. And I'm going to break my cycle of making it seem hard by taking action. And I hope you do too. Let me know again in the comments, or why don't you give us an email at catalystmotivation561@gmail.com. With that being said, I want to thank you so much for listening to the Catalyst Podcast, raw, real, and unedited. My name's Jason, and you can find Catalyst at Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. You can hear the podcast created through Spreaker on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, iHeart, and Amazon. A Catalyst has the power to create change, and we hope that's what this podcast will do. If you'd like to be a part of this podcast, no, it's a podcast, as a guest or a contributor, go ahead and give us that email. Shoot us an email at catalystmotivation561@gmail.com, or reach out to us in the comments. We'd really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for listening to episode 56. We will see you on episode 57. Again, thank you so much for listening. This is Jason saying, go be great.